Hi, Elise.
Hi, Julia. I'm just promoting everyone to a panelist.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Good. Yeah.
And let me just try to get all of our papers up.
Perfect. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
Hi, Joe.
Hi. Am I in?
Yes.
Okay. Should I call the meeting to order? Okay, I'll call the
Okay.
meeting to order at 4:15. And we don't have the meeting for the minutes for the last meeting, or do we, Julia?
Yes, I sent them twice.
Oh, okay.
I
Yes.
got them. I got them twice. They looked good to me.
Yeah. I know what happened. My email is busted and I have to get my guy in to fix it. So I will ask us to approve the minutes as read of the last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay. Now, have you all reviewed the invoices?
Yeah.
I've reviewed them too. I just have one comment on that library invoice for 9,000. Was that surprising to anybody?
Is this the one that was 75 pages long?
Yeah. I think we have a new librarian, a new head of the library, and that's probably why it was so large.
Because there was a delay, you think?
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten anything from the library for several months.
It was, I believe there was one last time, but the volume, I think it was maybe one batch or two,
Yeah.
but I see Baker and Taylor. So a lot of books. So there's adult books, children's books.
Is there a seasonality to it? Do we remember as far as is there a time of year that they restock certain types of books or I don't know.
It would make sense because we're in the new fiscal year, so their budget is, they now have money in the budget. So I suspect that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah. And I think maybe maybe we can ask him to come and visit with us at our next meeting. Our next meeting is September 23rd at 4:30. And typically we've had the new librarian come in, say hello, so we could meet them and I mean, I'm willing to approve the all of the payments as they've been presented today. So I don't really have a question about it. I'm just surprised that it all came at once. That's all.
And then I will plan on leaving them with Thomas at the front desk as I did before. And then if you just want to come in, it just needs to be before the, let me look at a calendar.
Can I just add one comment about that invoice though? But finish your thought, Elise.
I have a few comments on the other invoices also before we move on.
Okay.
So if
Let's
everyone
hear
could
about-
just
Okay.
come in before the 28th. Assigned
Okay,
on or
that's fine,
before the
next Wednesday.
28th.
Okay.
Yes,
Before
please.
next Wednesday, we can do that. Julia, do you want to go first?
Sure. Let me just write down the 28th thing. So just for that 75 page stack.
Yeah.
So Elise, does someone on your team go like dive deeply into it? And the reason I ask is not only because I'm just interested in knowing the layers of review, but also there was this note about how some items, I suppose, were invoiced incorrectly. And it says items mostly returned and rebilled, related credit memo. So that kind of confirmation would be very hard. It just, who looks at that to make sure that that rebilling, returning, checking is done?
So that's done at the library. So the process is that the library lets me know, Jenna White at the library says, hey, I have some invoices that I'm going to need to be signed off on. And then I set up this meeting, get the invoices, and the library actually creates the batches in the accounting software. And I basically just take them, I scan them in for approval, and then they get approved by this committee. So the library, since I think because they're dealing with the actual deliveries, they're the ones who tell us what has been returned, what hasn't. And with the NCRTF, Paul Good, I'll reach out to him, let him know that we're having a meeting. Then he gives me the invoices. I then give them to accounting, they create a batch, and then I present them. So no one in my office does anything. I'm the only one who has hands on this. And the department themselves actually reviews everything.
And so they double check for the accuracy.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So it would be up to their internal controls to notice the discrepancy.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Of course.
Dan, you had a question, I guess, on the NCTRS.
Yeah, let me pull it up. So one of the 4 attachments, it was actually a library
Oh, okay.
item, which is signed off, but it looks to be a credit,
Yes.
$10.34. So I don't know that. Do we need to actually do anything about that, or they just? It looks like a vendor maybe made an error and gave them a credit. So I don't really understand why this is in our queue.
I think part of it is so that we're aware of it and that we know because it was previously signed off on. That's my thought.
So is this, the vendor is going to give us a credit on a future invoice, or are we expecting a check back from the vendor? And if so, does it go back into the trust fund? See what I'm saying?
I'm not sure. I think it's a question for Jenna White or Robert.
I mean, it seems like we do a lot of. It seems like there are very few book vendors, and with each one we do a lot of business. And so it's hard to imagine them writing us a $10 check, but maybe you could just, there's nothing for us to sign. I'm just
Right.
curious what would happen with that.
It's probably a credit to the account, which will be used up over time.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
then
I'll confirm with Jenna what the process usually is.
my next question was on the revitalization trust. Where it sounds like Paul wrote a personal check and is asking to be reimbursed.
That's what I read it to be too.
And I thought that he included receipts, like he had gone to French Press. Are you talking about that stuff,
Well,
Dan?
so there's
That was
two.
that was
No,
the
that was
library.
library thing, I think, but
Oh, okay.
with
It was the
the
Greenfield stuff.
right, so he's got one actual invoice from a vendor, and then he has which he's asking us to pay directly, and then he's got another vendor invoice. Oh, I see. It says he hasn't set up this vendor in the system for payment yet.
Right.
So it says he's writing us a letter that says, I spent $1,300 out of pocket, please reimburse me. But I guess at least, was there a check stub or anything that he sent you that proof that he actually paid this? Or
moment that he paid. I
It's
just
the-
realized that
the
one of
vendor is
the,
Bowman, Bohlmann, and he's saying that he paid this invoice personally. He's asking for reimbursement, which of course he probably did, but how do we actually know that?
Yeah,
well, if we haven't paid it before, that's the proof. So if we haven't approved it, then
But I would want to see, did he send us like
whatever,
check
whatever,
or
whatever I've received, I've provided.
Yeah.
So you're
But-
saying, Dan, that you want proof just of like his canceled check?
yeah.
either his canceled check or a note from the vendor that says, "Yep, this invoice has been paid." Yeah, I guess either one would probably suffice. Does that make sense, Joe? Especially because it's more than $1,000. Like it's
Yeah. The question is, should we approve it and have them come in, or should we have them come in and then approve it?
Yeah, I don't know that he needs to come in. If he could even just, I mean, we could approve it, contingent upon him
Presenting
presenting
proof
to
of
at least,
disbursement.
proof of payment of
Disbursement.
some sort.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to rely on you, Elise, just tell us, that you've seen it.
Yeah.
So is this going to become a common practice that every single payment he's made, he's going to have to provide a secondary proof? Because now he's providing the invoice, but then you would like him to go to his bank account and provide an additional proof, which is the check or some sort of proof that he has paid the invoice.
I don't think this is the standard process, though. I think the standard process is that he sends us an invoice and he says, "Please pay the invoice," like he
Right.
did with the other
That's
one.
how he's
And
done it in
then-
the past.
Right, and that's, we've got a whole system around that, but sort of reimbursing him personally. It's one thing when it's like $100 for someone who bought lunch for the library staff, but $1,300 is kind of a lot. And even for the library staff, we had receipts.
I'm just including, so what had happened was I had attached two of the same invoices to that email. So I'm just sending along another invoice. It was for the Baker and Taylor. I think that's what it is. No, that's not it. Because you have two of the same, correct? If I'm reading this
Sorry,
properly, you have,
you jumped to something else, right?
so I will follow up with Paul, get a proof of that check of the $1,300 for confirmation, and then,
Or the vendor saying this has been paid?
Yeah,
okay,
you'll have an easier time getting it from Paul, I think.
okay. Just proof of payment. And then I just have followed up because there were two duplicate invoices. It was two of fours instead, and you were missing the 3 of 4 invoice. So I just had sent that as a follow-up.
Mhm. Okay, would someone review where we are before we go to approve the invoices? Dan, can you do that?
What do you mean review where we are?
Yeah, what we've decided to do with the library invoice and with the good invoice.
Well, the good invoice is really two invoices in one batch.
Yeah,
And Elise, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're signing off on the batch, right?
Yes.
So I'd say can we vote to approve the batch pending Elise getting proof of payment for Paul Good?
okay, so let's approve them individually. And on the Paul Good invoices, I'll entertain a motion to approve it based on sufficient information from Paul Good on the.
I make a motion to approve that
Okay,
invoice from the Community Revitalization Trust pending proof of payment for Paul.
Julia,
Okay.
do you second it? Julia, do you
Sorry.
second it?
I had to get off mute. I just want to say, just to add in, like, who gives, like, subject to the treasurer receiving adequate proof. So I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. So we've got that one. Okay. And tell Paul when you talk to him, it's just a formality that, we're responsible to make sure everything is done right. Okay.
Okay.
And that was just a slight slip up and we had no concern other than the fact that we felt we needed the proof.
Okay.
And on the invoice for the library, I'll entertain a motion to approve that as stated and presented.
This is covering all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll
Um,
second that motion.
And I will third it, but let me just say, I think motion to approve 4, because we had before us, right, Elise? We had 1 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4, but we got 3 of 4 twice. You just sent us 2 of 4.
So
that
I had
just
sent
looked at.
2 of 4 twice and just sent 3 of 4. So the one that you've just received is titled Library Baker and Taylor. 3 of 4. You
I don't-
received
I don't
2.
mean to correct you, but what we just got was 2 of 4. And earlier we got 3 of 4 twice.
Okay. Excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay. If I weren't responsible for the minutes, I wouldn't care about. But so I would just say motion to approve the 4 sets that we received. Is
Okay.
that okay?
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Uh,
Aye. And the ayes have it. And we know this puts a little pressure on you to get some information by next Wednesday. But I will tell you that I will come in next Tuesday for sure.
Perfect.
I'm in
And
Friday.
I'll send. Sorry, Dan.
I'll come in Friday morning.
And Elise, if you have the proof that we require, why don't you send an email out, and maybe I can get in a little sooner to make life easier for you. Okay. Please send it to my Gmail address until I solve my Outlook problem.
And I will send an email to Jenna White about that credit, and then I'll send an email to Paul Good about the proof of payment, and that is just a formality, and just we need to have that in order to sign off on the
I'm in a
invoices.
meeting. I'll call you in 5 minutes. Okay.
And I think I also had sorry, go ahead, go ahead. So right now we've approved all the invoices. They're going to be with Thomas. And that's where.
Right. But you're gonna check on Paul Good.
Mhm, correct.
Okay, all right. Is there anything else anyone would like to bring up? Before I mention an opportunity to adjourn.
So I've sent the Rockland Trust update with
Uh-huh.
the updated financials. It's both fourth quarter and it's the entire fiscal year. So I know I sent it today, so I understand if you haven't had a chance to review that yet, but if you would like to discuss it now, that's fine, or we can wait till the next meeting.
We'll wait till the next meeting.
Okay, okay, and then, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
And then I also had a question regarding the next two meetings, if we wanted to schedule that, because you did say the September 23rd at 4:30, I believe.
Yes, that's
Okay.
that's the next meeting. Are you looking for one beyond that?
Oh, I think we have September and October scheduled, isn't it in the minutes or no?
We don't have, yes, we have October 24th at 4:30
Perfect, okay,
and September 23rd, which is a Monday at 4:30. October 24th is a Thursday at 4:30. Do you both have that?
I do
Yep.
have it in my notes. I,
Okay. All right. So life is good. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. That's it. Have a nice week.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Yeah.
So long.
Bye-bye.